We're here today with Cam Watts, the SMJFL Umpire Academy Manager. How are things, Cam?
Yeah, really well, Jen. You?
Yeah, good, thank you. Thanks for chatting with us today. So first, for those who might not know you already, how did you get into umpiring?
So I first got into umpiring the same way a lot of kids do. I wanted cash. My mate got a PS3 with all of his umpiring money, and I really wanted a PS3, so I asked a local club, can I umpire? And they said, we'll get in contact. And so had a couple of years of doing both umpiring and playing footy, and now just umpiring and loving it.
Awesome. And how long since you started umpiring?
Started umpiring in 2012, so 9 years ago.
And how old were you when you started?
I was 13, turning 14.
Awesome, good stuff. And what has umpiring taught you along the way?
I thought umpiring was just blowing the whistle and paying decisions when I first got into it, but it's certainly more than that. We teach a lot of our kids a lot of life lessons along the way. Like, I used to not be able to look adults or other people in the eye when I spoke to them, and so definitely public speaking and approaching, and talking to adults is a big thing that we teach our kids. So a lot of confidence involved, and those are the two main ones. But it's stuff that you wouldn't learn in a classroom, which is the big thing. And it's not, as I've learned along the way, it's not just blowing the whistle and paying holding the balls, but a bit of organisation as well. I used to be very messy, very unorganised, late to places, but umpiring definitely teaches you a bit of that as well.
And now that the 2021 season is underway, can you tell us how the Academy has been faring during the pandemic and after the pandemic?
Yeah, definitely. So during the pandemic, we kept our umpires occupied behind the computer screen. We ran a lot of online tutorials for our umpires. 3 different streams, you could call it. One for boundary umpires, one for novice first year field umpires, and then one for the experienced and intermediate field umpires. So a lot of them were engaged online, which was terrific, and we had a few quizzes associated with that so that they'd be ready and still up with umpiring when we got out of the pandemic. And now that we're here, we're back face to face at Morley on a Wednesday and at Elsternwick Park on a Monday, and kids are loving it. Round 2's gone, and they're loving being back on the park, and so are we.
That's great to hear. And why are umpires so important to the game?
Well, yeah, we all hear it, but it's so true. Without them, we wouldn't have a game, and we'd have to rely on parents and volunteers, which are hard enough to come by as it is. So without umpires running around, the kid, it'd just be training. And so we try to teach our umpires the value of their role, and it's something that we try to instill at clubland and as a league.
Fantastic. And coming up this weekend in round 3 is the Monarch Community Umpire Round. What's the round all about and what's in store?
Yeah, so this is a round I really look forward to. So it's in the name, the Monarch AFL Community Umpire Round. We're really looking forward to it. It's all just a bit about a bit of recognition for the umpires and what they do. It's at times a very thankless task what they do. It's there's a lot of ups and downs to umpiring. There's lots of ups in our academy, but it's just a bit about the recognition and just seeing what these umpires do and being thankful for the efforts that they go to. And it's not just an hour and a half of a game of what we do at the academy. There's a lot outside of that game that they do behind the scenes, and so it's just a bit of recognition for that, I reckon.
And any surprises in store for this weekend that you can tell us about?
Absolutely. So we are very lucky to have Razor Ray Chamberlain umpiring the Under-13 Division 2 St Bede's game at Mentone Reserve with one of our young up-and-coming umpires, India Isaacs, which is really exciting. And we've also got 5 of our umpires walking onto the MCG for the major clash, Richmond versus the Western Bulldogs at the MCG on Friday night. And they'll also be doing the Oz kick at half-time. So there's plenty happening, which is terrific.
That's fantastic. Lots to look forward to this week. And the Monarch SMJFL Umpire Academy has umpires of all ages, some as young as 14 years old. So what effect does disrespect from players and officials towards umpires and even abuse from the sidelines have on those umpires?
Yeah, it's a great question, and it's definitely something that I feel like is getting better over time. But we do have rounds where it is a big issue, and basically most of the umpires who don't return to the Umpire Academy is because of abuse and disrespect, which is really disheartening as an Umpire Academy manager and a league rep to hear, because a lot of kids leave umpiring because of other reasons, but the main one is due to abuse. And so it only takes one, dirty look from a parent, or one yelling out from the sidelines to really have an effect on that umpire. And they are just kids at the end of the day. They're trying their best. We're not going to get everything right. The AFL umpires aren't. The players aren't going to get everything right. But it's one of those things that we're working towards as a league to really be really good at. It's always been a problem, but something that we're striving to reduce these issues, because coming out of COVID, finding umpires is difficult across the board in Victoria. Our numbers, thankfully, are quite good coming out of COVID, but the churn rate of umpires is just ridiculous, and it's because of abuse. And so that's just why, as a collective and as a community, we've just got to think that these kids are out there doing their job, doing their best. They're not going to get everything right, and we've got to respect that.
Respect's definitely a key word, both for the league and for the Umpire Academy. So why do you think it's so important for spectators and all participants to maintain respect during the game?
It's a good question, and it's definitely, I think, at the forefront of the media a bit about umpire respect and good timing being umpire community round. And I think it just stems back to, without these umpires, there would not be a game of football. It'd just be training, and these kids want to go out and play footy, and you got to have umpires out there to do it. So I think as a collective, players, umpires, the community alike, we've all got to come together and have that respect back for umpires and what they do. We try our absolute best, and we're not just rule readers and everything. We have a bit of personality as well. All of us, we like to after games, like, get to know people and stuff like that. Having been a player and an umpire myself, like, I can safely say that the culture that we have at umpiring at training is the best that I've been a part of, and been a part of a lot of different sports. And so we're just out there to enjoy ourselves as well. And so when you've got hecklers from the sidelines yelling at us for making a mistake, and sometimes not, it does play on our mind. It's very, very difficult to make a mistake, get heckled for it, and then not think about it when it goes to the next contest. And if you're distracted by the last contest, you're unlikely to get the next one right as well. So that's just the flow-on effect that players, officials and spectators, that's just the effect that they have on a lot of umpires, and most of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And there is a lot of fun to be had with the Monarch SMJFL Umpire Academy. For anyone who wants to get involved, what should they do?
Great question, Jen. We're always looking for new umpires, and even doesn't matter your background, your age. We take umpires from year 7 and above for boundary umpiring, and year 8 and above for field umpiring. It doesn't matter if you've played footy, never played footy, never even know what AFL is. Come down to training and learn. We've got a really, really good, dedicated coaching team at training. We've got 12 coaching staff. So give me an email, umpiring@smjfl.com.au. Tell me you're keen to come on board, and I'll give you a buzz or shoot you an email back and give you the steps from there, get you registered and get you blowing the whistle.
Too easy. Thanks so much for your time, Cam, and we'll see you this weekend, May 2nd, at the Monarch Community Umpire Round.
Thanks so much, Jen.